No, because they trained for the Cell Saga in Super Saiyan 1, and then Gohan was the first one to go Super Saiyan 2.
I cannot believe I'm recalling this specific information.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week we get our first look at the Dark Phoenix.
Oh, so it be.
Yeah, Mike's disappointed yet again. There are some shakeups at DC again. Okay, This is not the first time we've heard about some shakeups at DC. We're going to talk about that. Let's head into the Spider-Verse, Mike.
Ooh.
Head first into Spider-Verse and more.
You know, it's funny you said shakeups at DC. My Instagram app just let me know the other day, because for the very first time I reported a bug that I noticed in the app, and it said, oh, would you like to unlock the ability where if you shake your phone, you can report a bug? And I was like, no, because I'm just going to accidentally shake my phone sometimes, and it's just like, I feel like that's what they're doing over at DC. They're using the shaking function on the whole company, like,
See, that's the thing. I would
reporting an error, shake it.
That's the thing. I would shake my phone if there was a bug on it. And I think that's like the report they don't want.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, there's an ant on my phone. I got to shake it off." No, that's wrong bug report, Chris.
Yeah, that's a real problem. But you might notice I'm a little hoarse today. The office holiday party was last night. It didn't mean I went crazy. It's just when there's loud music in an area and you want to converse with people, you got to talk really loud. So I didn't get too crazy. But you might be dealing with my sexy voice.
Ooh, I mean, I like it when you're a timbre lower than usual, Mike. I need to hear some of that. But well, that's good. Do you have fun? Do you have a good holiday party?
Yeah, it was good. It's always going to be a fun time when there's an open bar. There was like a scavenger hunt component to it where we could like walk around and collect beads for doing things. My wife knows this tidbit in her head. It's a fun fact that statistically, when you're playing rock, paper, scissors, people are more likely to throw scissors on the first throw. And we were trying to figure out why that is. And I think it's because scissors feels like you're making an action. You know, you have to kind of actively make scissors and it feels aggressive. Whereas like if you throw a rock, it feels like you're not doing much. And just paper just kind of feels like you're giving up when you throw it. So people, I guess, usually throw scissors first. So there was this thing where you could earn more beads for the scavenger hunt and you could take beads from people if you played rock, paper, scissors and bet beads. So I ended up working. I threw rock almost all the time, and a lot of people were throwing scissors. So remember that next time you got to play rock, paper, scissors out there, people. Just play the game quickly. Don't give people time to think about it too much, and just rock, paper, scissors, shoot, throw that rock, and beat those scissors.
That's right. Rock their world, Mike. You know, rock their world. See, yeah, it's a nice setup. Well, that's good. That sounds like fun. Our holiday party's not till like January, but it's like more of an end of the year wrap up.
Gotcha.
And in real estate, the end of the year isn't until like the 1st, so we can't really say who did the best or whatever until then.
Can't brag about it.
No, but I can brag about a podcast I was on last week, Nerdstalgia. It's a podcast hosted and run by the owner of my local comic book store, The Destination. Bryan, who wants to be a super fan, and I tell him how to be a super fan. How do you be a super fan, Mike?
You just gotta share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy.
That's right. You gotta share the show. And we went on a show. We talked about movie and TV tropes. And because of my background in film and stuff, it was a really good time. I had him, Brian, and then Brandon Jones, host of the Animation Destination show, there as well. So
yes, I gave it a listen. I think one of the tropes that I'm very familiar with. It's always raining at a funeral, like you said.
Yes, it is, and that's really great because it's going to tie into our news here in a second. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to link the show in the notes below if you want to go listen to the Nerdstalgia. Give it a listen. They're part of the DNN. Brian is kind of the founder and head of the DNN. So all the videos I do over there, I work a lot with Brian on that. So I was happy to be a part of an episode, and hopefully I get invited back for more because I definitely like doing podcasts, Mike. I don't know about you, but I love talking.
You're a hot commodity out there, Chris.
That's
Everybody
right.
wants you.
I got a face for podcasts. That's what I keep telling people too. So. Also, on that note, my Mike made us some Superhero Slate, I guess, graphics of us for our videos. Guardians 2 era, like so back in April. And I convinced my office to let me use the Infinity Gauntlet one for my picture in the office. Like they printed it out, framed it, and that's going to be the picture. So
heck yeah.
I'm really excited to see how that turns out when everyone else has professional headshots and there's Chris.
So speaking of the Infinity Gauntlet, this isn't a segue into news. This is a segue into stocking stuffers, if you will. There's a curious stocking stuffer. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but if anybody gets them this holiday season, let me know. It's apparently if you go to Target. And
let me stop you. Let me stop you right here.
Do you already have it?
You buy the Infinity Gauntlet and then you dig the stones out of these little sandy blocks, right?
Yeah, is that what it was? Was it a sand? That's what I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
like,
I bought some.
Well, I was just like, is the box made of chocolate? Is it a box that I can eat? And I was like, wait, that doesn't seem safe because some kid's gonna swallow an Infinity Stone.
No, it's very, very compressed sand. So they recommend you getting the tools that come with it, these little plastic tools to wet. I just took it under the running faucet and sawed my way through it until I found what was in it.
I really love how you have you're a child enough at heart to want to have this thing, but you won't go the extra mile of actually acting out the excavation of the sand.
I bought a shield brick and a Hydra brick. The shield brick I did to start. And I was like, I don't have the patience to get this little bitty gym out of here. Like, after I got through it, like, there was sand everywhere. Like, it is a mess if you do it their way. If you go do it in a contained environment with water running, like, you can do it and not make a mess at all. So, I did buy them, Mike. My wife encouraged me, and I gave in. And I've got 2 gems, but I do not have. The other one was like a little token.
Well, how on earth do you expect to take over the universe with that type of work ethic and attitude, Chris?
Look, balancing the universe is not something someone usually finds enjoyable. But I actually use that quote today. I have an Infinity Gauntlet bottle opener, and I have a little strongbow I'm drinking right here beside me. So whenever I pop that open, I'm like, this does put a smile on my face. So.
Well, Chris, you did just mention there things that you don't enjoy, and I think that segues really well into our first news topic.
It does. X-Men Dark Phoenix, we mentioned at the top of the show here, we've got our first gallery of images here, and it already offends me with one trope, Mike. We're going to take a look at this full list here. If you scroll down, you find, guess what? It's raining at a funeral. It is already raining at a funeral in this movie. Who dies? I don't know. It is not Nightcrawler. I believe that is Cyclops and Storm and Professor X. So maybe it's Jean Grey. Maybe. I don't know. But we get our first really... I guess what was interesting is the way they're portraying the Phoenix in this movie. A lot of Game of Thrones people probably wanted to see Sophie Turner as naked as possible with fake fire hair and her body cracking open. So that's what we get our look at the Phoenix here, Mike. What do you think? I think... To me, I'm very offended, to put it in Chris terms.
I really don't want to attack the person who is in charge of making this creative, because you never know. There's always lots of people involved that have to approve things. They could have been strapped for time. Maybe they had a million other projects going on. But this just honestly looks like somebody went through one of those Photoshop tutorials, like, how to add fire hair. And then they followed the tutorial. And then it's like, how do you draw, like, cracked skin on Photoshop? Like, this just looks like somebody's, like, maybe, like, a Photoshop final project in class that they put together. And so I don't know. It just doesn't really look that badass to me. Like, I'm already not excited about the movie, so this does not help.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I feel like they're making the same mistakes as X3 did this time around. I'm just not impressed with it. But if you scroll up a little bit, we get to see Sophie Turner as Jean Grey in the rain. I guess is this how she de-phoenixes? Like, they just douse her in a little water.
Just going through emotional turmoil, apparently.
Yeah, do you think that's the same scene as the funeral because it's raining?
I mean, that makes sense.
Also, people want to see her in the wet T-shirt, so I'm guessing as well. Like, that's all. I'm not really getting anything out of this. Jennifer Lawrence returns as Mystique, and it looks like she's got some more ridges on her face here. She looks to have a different look for this movie.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be her last movie, so maybe she's just like, let's just go all out on the makeup. This is the last time I'm going to be in it.
Can't hold anything back now. And lastly, I think the biggest reveal here is Jessica Chastain as the villain. And she kind of looks creepy. Like, like really weird. Like there'd be like her pale skin and bleached blonde hair just aren't lining up. But she's apparently playing a shape-shifting villain, which makes me think Fox is trying to shove the Skrulls in here as well, like we talked about a couple months ago.
So is this Jessica Chastain inside of the destroyed X Mansion because it blows up all the time?
It looks like I thought it was the X Mansion. That's what it looks like to me. And
you can't just keep blowing it up, Fox.
Yeah, well, they're gonna keep trying to. I mean, they do that with Wayne Manor. Don't they blow up Wayne Manor in every Batman movie, pretty much?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But, so, I mean, anything, there's just, like, looking at these screenshots is not going to inspire any hope in people. Mm-hmm. But there are some screenshots. Oh, and then Mutants in Space. There's one thing here where the Phoenix is apparently manifesting above some spaceships. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll have to see. I do want to talk a lot more in depth about the X-Men universe and the X-Men tie-ins with possible Marvel, but we have a Disney segment coming up, so I think we can talk about it there.
Yeah, we do. Do we ever? Also in the X-Men universe, Bryan Singer has pretty much been fired from any X-Men movie going forward.
Good, get out of here, man.
Yeah, so he apparently was just not showing up to the Freddie Mercury biopic, like, and he's a director. Mm-hmm. And like they fired him, got a new director, but apparently this is not the first time he's been seen as like not showing up for work. So I think Fox is letting him go and not letting him do any more X-Men movies. So
yeah, that's even on top of all of the sexual assault allegations. So like, yeah, Bryan Singer, if you're gonna be like a super creep that everybody starts accusing of really bad things, your best bet is to at least keep going into work if you have any chance of saving your job. But if you're definitely not gonna get work if you don't do both.
don't clash with the actors who are doing the role. So
don't be a creep and do your job.
Yeah. So Bryan Singer's probably out of X-Men movies, not just because of this, probably because of Disney as well. But also Dark Phoenix, along with New Mutants and Gambit, are apparently getting the IMAX treatment. So we'll see. Yeah, so those are there. I'm surprised it didn't mention Deadpool, but I assume Deadpool was getting the IMAX treatment anyway.
Yeah, well, I say we'll see when it comes to Gambit, just because those cameras aren't rolling yet. I could see IMAX for New Mutants. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you, and we'll talk about why here in a minute, why we will probably see Gambit before it's all said and done. All right. Speaking of people in Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, Maisie Williams, Sophie Turner, Game of Thrones is, she said, will return in 2019, Mike. I know that's disappointing for you, but I guess we got to wait another year.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was just like a final confirmation, because I think that was kind of the running premiere date for a while.
Yeah, no one said it was just coming back in question marks, and some people thought it'd be late 2018 or early 2019, but it looks like HBO's taking their time between this last season.
Yeah, well, I forget the names, the two showrunners on the show, but they always talk about how taxing the show is and how much work it is, and it shows because it's such an amazing show. So I can only imagine if the last season, I believe, is only going to be 6 episodes, and they're basically taking twice the amount of time to make it. Those last 6 episodes have to be just like amazing. Probably like every episode's gonna feel like a season finale. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, last season of the show, Mike, can't hold anything back now.
Let's see if you can do that for every segment we talk about.
I'm gonna keep trying. New Mutants again is on the horizon. We get our first poster for the horror film this week. A couple images here. The first poster, leaning into that horror vibe pretty heavily here.
Yeah, this reminds me of The Frighteners. Have you seen that movie with Michael J. Fox?
No.
It's a really good movie. I think it's just because there's a point. I think maybe the box art kind of looks like this. Either way, go watch The Frighteners. It's good. It's about Michael J. Fox helping, like, he can kind of like see ghosts, and he's like trying to like stop these ghosts from getting killed by other ghosts. It's really bizarre, but it's kind of like scary, but also like funny. It's a really good movie.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, this is like one of those things I like horror movies have used a lot, like Silent Hill films and like stuff where stuff comes through the wall at you, kind of things. Mm-hmm. So there's not a new style, but I mean, it's interesting. Like I'm interested in seeing a horror superhero based film for sure. Mm-hmm. But there's a new cast image that was shared from the director, And what's really cool here is we get to see Sunspot going from right to left, not left to right. Sunspot, Magic, Rain something. She's a werewolf. Thunder. No, I can't even think of the names. Anymore.
It's okay. They're new mutants. Once they become mutants or old mutants, that's when we'll know their names.
But the little puppet that she's holding, Magic is holding, is a reference to Lockheed, which is the little dragon that's usually around Kitty Pryde in the comic books.
Yeah, and that kind of little sidekick has been pretty iconic in the X-Men comic books. So it's surprising that we haven't seen it on screen just yet.
Mm-hmm. And this may be a hint that we may get to see it. But what I think is really cool about this photo here is it's actually an homage to AC/DC's album Highway to Hell.
Oh, cool.
Where they arrange them exactly the same, and like instead of holding a devil tail, it's the dragon. And I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. Like a lot of people wouldn't get that at first, especially this generation. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
You damn kids.
Yeah, and also they probably wouldn't understand this Frighteners poster you sent me that it does in fact look like the poster we just saw for this.
I don't know if that is also a homage, as you say, but yeah, I just want to use this as another opportunity to say, go watch Frighteners, people. It's really good. I love that movie.
That's right. It's the last Frighteners of the decade. We can't hold anything back. No, I'm kidding. And lastly, we watched this a little video clip, a motion poster for New Mutants they've thrown out this week, hinting at the villain being Demon Bear because of the little bear locket in the bottom left. So if you're not familiar with that New Mutants run, it's Demon Bear's the villain. I don't know. I haven't read it, so I probably need to read it before April.
Be a good idea, Chris.
I know, right? Fox, I don't know if this is Fox. I think this is actually a Marvel project, but Wolverine is getting kind of recast here in a series called The Long Night, but it's a podcast, a scripted podcast that we talked about earlier this week.
Yeah, this goes to show you how mainstream podcasts are becoming now, that a comic book that's been a very visual medium has decided to go totally audio.
Exactly, and Richard Armitage, actually, I can see him being cast as Wolverine. I think someone put a picture of him up, and I'm like, oh yeah, he could totally be Wolverine. He was in, he was the main dwarf in the Hobbit trilogies there. But he's been cast as Wolverine in this scripted podcast from Marvel, which I will probably subscribe to. I want to check it out. I want to see what's going on with it.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe when you were telling me about this earlier this week, this is going to be like a premium podcast, right? You're going to have to pay to listen.
Yeah. So Stitcher, it's through Stitcher. It'll be on Stitcher, and it says premium podcast. Now, does that mean you have to pay to listen? Maybe. It may be like you get first access on the premium channel. I don't know the full details. But this is the second time I've seen Marvel step into audio at a couple conventions, probably 4 years ago. They were testing this idea called Project Gamma, where they would have audio tracks synced up with the comics you were reading online.
Oh,
so
okay.
like it's like a background track. It wasn't like real music. Like it wasn't like, hey, you're listening to Disturbed while you're watching the Hulk punch.
Yeah, it's just like ambiance.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't like a natural cut whenever you switch. It would like merge into the next music for that mood. So they're definitely trying. A podcast, I think, is a great idea. It's a way to get other people to play these characters and Marvel to be able to use them in non-film media, at least for the time being. But with this Disney deal on the close, Mike, we might see those X-Men and Fantastic Four come over a little sooner than we think.
Yeah.
Every day is a new report saying this deal is inching ever closer to happening, and it could be closed. They could be like, yes, by Christmas.
Yeah, from what I've been hearing, is that this will be announced sometime next week. Next week, as in, I guess technically we're recording it would be this week. So I think within the next couple days, this might be announced. I've also heard it's reportedly hovering around $60 billion.
74, it will be the total. Because it's
so much.
Fox's assets are worth 60, but they have to add like a 30% something. Like they can't just buy it at cost.
Transaction fee.
Yeah, like they have to hey, you get a little bonus for it. So
it's a conveniance fee.
Yeah. It's like when you go to the Pawn Stars and like I gotta make a profit on this. I can't just sell it to you for what you want. But yeah, so they're actually having the banks look at the deal right now. The bankers, if the bankers are involved, this is very, very close, Mike. But this also means that Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, I believe, is to stay on 2. He was supposed to retire at the end of 2019, but might stay on 2 or 3 more years to see this Fox acquisition transition be completed. Because this is not something that's like as soon as they sign the papers, it's done. It has to go through some approvals by, I believe, the FCC has to say, like, make sure that this is not a monopoly. But because they are a media production company, they're afforded a little bit more leniency. And they're not buying the television, they're not buying the sports, so it could be easier. But the scrutinization of this deal, because AT&T, I believe some other company were trying to merge recently.
AT&T and Time Warner,
I believe it was, so Time Warner. So like, because of the scrutinization of that, they may actually we may see up to Dark Phoenix 2 enter production if there's some snags or some delays in this as we go.
Yeah, so I wanted to use this as an opportunity to just kind of talk about what it would be like if the X-Men did make it into the MCU, because the last couple of weeks when we've been talking about this merger, we've been very cautious. We've been very worried about, like, the monopolization, all of these IPs and stuff like that. And, I felt like that's good. It's good to be hesitant and not really celebrate
keep our hopes low.
Yeah, and not celebrate the corporate greed so much. But it seems like it's going to be happening. So I think we should just give ourselves a moment here to just kind of relish in the idea and just have a little bit of fun. And, like, what do you think, Chris, is going to happen? So just imagine this, the deal is done, nothing we can do, all the belly aching or celebrating or whatever is done. And now the X-Men are going to be able to play with the MCU. How do we get this to happen? How do we fold this in? Do we ditch all of these new recasted people? Do we reboot the X-Men universe? Is there any logical way to connect it? What do we do?
So we are at the precipice of a great moment here, Mike. Avengers 4 is next May. With right now, I think only Spider-Man confirmed to be in production afterwards. Maybe Guardians 3 right afterwards. We are given 2-3 full years before maybe we see the first movie come out of this, and we have the ability to rewrite the universe at the end of Avengers 4 to however we see fit. So maybe there's the Fantastic Four come through a wormhole. Maybe the X-Men. Kind of like in the comic books, there was called M-Day, where this says no more mutants. And this one, like, it could be something the opposite of M-Day, where, like, a bunch of people get powers and they're called mutants. It alters our history.
I could kind of see that. Maybe something that Thanos does alters, like, the DNA of some of the people on the planet or something.
Or maybe somebody gets the gun, like, we need more help. And that creates these super-powered people on the Earth to protect it in the future.
Oh, maybe.
Like, hey, Earth isn't, just a couple people, like, you can't come and take us over. We have a bunch of superpowered people now.
So it's kind of like a backhanded genie wish, where it's just like, I wish to be, like, super, like, powerful, and then you get, like, I don't know, you get turned into, like, a giant ball of fire or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. So something could happen to rewrite the universe where, quote-unquote, Phase 4 is brand new rules, new characters. It has some of the old threads that are still there, but, like, they're like, oh, well, mutants are here now because of what happened.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to believe that Disney would acquire all of Fox and have the ability to finally put X-Men in their movies and then just carry over this really weird, long, kind of conflated legacy of the X-Men.
Two different universes.
Yeah, it just seems like, I'm sorry, Maisie Williams, but I think maybe you're only going to get 1 or 2 New Mutants movies in there. So,
but at the same time, I totally see Deadpool existing in this universe.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the perfect opportunity where he can just kind of jump, cross, skip around because it doesn't really matter. So they actually kind of hit it out of the park with that character.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch here. I'm more excited, not much about X-Men, but the idea of Galactus being the next big villain.
Ooh, yeah.
Because the next phase is supposed to be more cosmic, more stuff like this. They have an opportunity to create Nova and, like, maybe do the comic series Annihilation, where the galaxy has no protectors and Thanos isn't keeping everybody in check, so it's being taken over by, like, this technological beings or these other, like, Annihilus would be another great villain in his Annihilation wave.
Yeah, and I believe once they have the X-Men locked down and they have this relationship with Sony, what maybe the only loose end is what Universal with kind of the Hulk rights a little bit.
Just the distribution rights for the Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like that they're finally going to have everything under one roof. So they'll be able to do anything and everything.
Yeah, and with Kevin Feige at the head of it, he loves the characters. You can't deny him that. He loves the characters and he loves the movies. And they're not the perfect movies. They're not going to change your life, one at a time. But on a whole, if they can keep this going and with new characters and new stories, I think it's going to be great. Like, I am just thrilled at the idea of the new stories and characters and things you can do with this.
Yeah, and maybe this ended up working out really well for them. They started out their whole universe with kind of lower tier characters that they were able to prove themselves with good movies, and then now they're getting rewarded with kind of getting these easier characters, almost easier as just like more famous. So this is gonna be great. If you ignore all the corporate stuff around it, it can be pretty exciting.
I just wish that the Inhumans weren't given the fucking shaft on TV. That would be great to have them out there.
And the crazy thing is the biggest reason the Inhumans were elevated so much is because they didn't have the mutants. If they're getting the mutants back now, those Inhumans probably don't stand a chance of ever coming back.
No, not at all. So yeah, I see good things coming out of this, Mike. I know corporate wise it can be rough. This kind of brings up a good thing here. I actually I know someone. I'm going to no names. Messaged me who works at a Fox Sports regional, outlet. I don't know the exact details. They're probably saying, "Hey, you're wrong, Chris. Like that's not how you say it." But they know they got a email from the Murdochs this week, kind of responding to the rumors, but not saying anything about the rumors.
Okay.
So if they're getting that kind of email saying, "Hey, we appreciate all you do. Don't worry," I feel like something is happening behind the scenes. Like that's more of a yes than a no.
Yeah, well, and also Fox Sports wasn't on the table for this deal, correct?
Right, but it's at the same time where the regional sports networks, not the national sports, could be given up to ESPN or Disney. Because regional's separately than the national broadcast, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully they're not yelling at me too bad, but we do have a source at Fox Sports who may be able to give us more insights as well. So,
well, there you go. Let us know when more memos come down the pipeline.
Yeah, and we hope it's not bad for you. Like we really hope it's not bad for you. Like that's not our goal.
we can give you a job at Superhero Slate. There's really nothing for you to do, but
no money at all.
If you want to put it on your resume,
that's right. You can do something for us. But yeah, so that's some good stuff here. But we're gonna dive into maybe another Disney superhero property, the better of the Fantastic Four movies, I would say. Incredibles 2. We get our first look at the family in action, Mike. It looks about the same, to be honest, as it did from the original. The background buildings, that's where I was kind of looking at the detail. Like they're kind of generic background buildings to look like a city, and I think they nailed it.
It's like don't get me wrong, we're all excited about The Incredibles, but an exclusive first look at characters that look identical to how they did in the last movie with just a little bit more polygons. It's like I'm excited. I mean, the image doesn't really do much, so I'm looking forward to maybe slightly updated costumes, or I don't know, maybe Miss Incredible could at least have a different haircut. I don't know, like, or maybe like Dash could have like a mohawk or something, a little bit different.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does take place right after the first movie, they said, but it doesn't blow me away. You're right. I need to see something in motion. Like that's where it's gonna be. So hopefully we'll get to see some Incredibles 2 stuff sooner than later. We've got a lot going on in December. A lot of new trailers coming out here, and we're gonna talk about one that came out yesterday, I believe, or Friday. I don't remember.
Came out yesterday and out of nowhere.
Yes. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is the animated Spider-Man movie we've been talking about for a few years now from Sony. Mike, I know you were very, very worried when we've been talking about this. This was not very high on your radar. This was down there with Gambit for whenever we talked about it.
Well, yeah, just because it was very confusing. We weren't really sure how it was going to fit into the overall goal of Sony and this Marvel and Spider-Man in general. It just seemed kind of a bizarre choice to just do a standalone animated movie, and it was going to be with Miles Morales when we haven't really set up Miles in any other context for people out there yet. We didn't know what else was going to be involved. Like you can tell by the title of this Spider-Verse, we had no idea that was going to be brought into the fold. And also, I think the future of Sony Animation was really kind of teetering on like the performance of the Emoji Movie. Like we thought that the studio might not even exist and this movie might never come out. But yesterday I was in the bathroom with my smartphone, just kind of doing doing what people do while they're trying to answer Mother Nature's call. And I'm like scrolling through my Twitter feed, and all of a sudden I see this trailer just autoplay, and I was like, wait, what is this? So I have to I just throw my phone down because I'm not about to watch this trailer on my phone. And I finish up my business very quickly. I go into the living room with the giant TV. I plug this thing on, and holy crap, I was not expecting everything that I saw in this trailer. Everything subverted all of my expectations.
Well, that's good. I'm not very impressed with it. I'm probably on the other end of the spectrum.
How could you?
I know. This is very, very different. I love Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'm surrounded by 2 Miles little figures right now. A metallic one and a little dwarves. I love Miles. Ultimate Universe is my jam. You know this. There are 2 things about this trailer that stick out to me. Half of this trailer I don't think will be in the movie. I think it's beautiful, but I don't think it'll be like when he's falling from the skyscrapers. It felt like a demo reel. I don't know about you. Like it just didn't feel like it was story wise. But is it like taking a cue from the Lego movie where it's like skipping some frames to look like it's stop motion?
Well, I think I've never seen the movie, but I think another animated movie in this kind of vein was, I think it was maybe Monster House or something like that. I don't remember the name of the movie. But yeah, I actually really dug kind of the faux stop motion look. It just gave a very unique look to the world to me.
Okay, see, to me, I wasn't kind of on that because I saw it with the Lego movies. It works, but this one I don't know. But I will have to say it does do one really cool thing we haven't seen, and that's the spider sense. The way it flashes and like does a quick frame or 2 highlight of what he's seeing. Like here's the bus, here's the taxi you need to jump off of. I thought that was really cool. But I'm not too sold on this yet because I don't care about the Spider-Verse. That's the other thing. So I don't know, Mike. I go on. I mean, you want anything else? I mean, I'm not knocking on this movie. I'm just not. I haven't bought my ticket to this yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, I think it was just because I was so unexpectedly surprised. To me, it just looks beautiful. I love the shots. I love the animation style. They did a great job modeling Miles. There's not a whole lot to grab onto in this trailer. Like you see the Prowler there for a second, and very kind of classic Prowler look. So it's kind of cool that they, I guess, can lean into more of like the cartoon comic book side of things. So it's like, if you're gonna if you end up seeing the Prowler in a costume in the MCU, he's gonna be like kind of more muted. He's gonna look more kind of like an actual person. Right. He wouldn't look purple.
He wouldn't pop off the screen.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole Spider-Verse angle is really interesting, too, to bring in other Spider-Men, if you will. There's a point in the trailer where I believe we're looking at Peter Parker, and Miles Morales says, how many of us are there? So it makes me wonder, are they building a franchise, or are they just going to put all of this in one movie? I definitely expect to see Spider-Gwen at some point in time in this movie universe, because that's all the hotness right now. So they'll try to put in Spider-Gwen whenever they can.
I've got some Spider-Gwen news for you later that I think you're going to like. So.
All right.
But yeah, Spider-Verse in the comic books is built around actual Peter Parker because it has to do with one of his villains that from like the cartoon show. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this goes, and maybe it's just a teaser. Maybe I need a full trailer before I buy into it. But it does have some good things going for it. But it's not for Chris. But it sounds like Mike is already there. So
yeah, I mean, it's just totally unexpected.
Yeah,
I don't think
expectations were so low. We were about to kick it out the door, and now.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and now they come through with something that looks like, oh my god, they actually put some effort into it. They didn't just steal the 1960s Spider-Man and just like redub it.
Yeah. So now when you go out and you check out all of Superhero Slate's social media accounts and you see that we, retweeted and shared the trailer, that was me doing that, not Chris.
Yeah, you can definitely tell where our sensibilities are. But no, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, people are definitely going to love it. Leave us your feedback. Tell us your feedback. Comment on our Facebook post. Send us an email. I want to know what everybody else thinks. So we're not the only two people out there with ideas. Spider-Man Homecoming 2 is John Watts is confirmed to direct the sequel from Kevin Feige.
He did a good job with the first one. It's kind of a similar move that they've been doing with their directors. Peyton Reed gets to come back and do Ant-Man and the Wasp. So
yeah,
all right.
And I think Scott Derrickson is doing Doctor Strange 2, maybe. So if you play well the first time, they will give you freedom the second time. Kind of thing. It's kind of how it feels. So that's really cool. I actually now have 2 copies of Homecoming. I don't know how this happened. Actually, yes, I do. I bought the steelbook, and then they have a version that was released with the pop vinyl, and I had to buy the pop vinyl mics. So.
Well, Chris, if you got like a free digital code just floating around, you can send that my way.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Because you had to go rent Star Wars, I believe, yesterday. Or buy Star Wars.
Yeah, I need to open up my wallet for that.
Yeah. Well, we take iTunes gift cards as Christmas presents, people. Captain Marvel is moving right along, Mike. I'm really excited to see where this goes and what comes from it. The character Rick Jones is possibly in the film with some new casting here. A supporting lead male, 35 to 59, intelligent but can throw a punch, open ethnicity, and sounds like he may be tied to a well-known character, which everyone is assuming Rick Jones. Are you familiar with the character Rick Jones?
I am not familiar with Rick Jones, Chris.
So Rick Jones kind of palled around with the Hulk for a while. I believe he went as the character maybe known as A-Bomb or for a while. Yeah, A-Bomb. But he is most importantly known from the Captain Marvel saga as like being Captain Marvel's best, like the male one, his best friend, and like being there with him when he died of cancer in the comic book. So introducing him into the Captain Marvel movie would be... no big deal, really. Like, it would be about right. But he has been around through a lot. He's a supporting character of a lot of people. Hulk, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and some other ones. So he gets around.
That's a big age range. 35 to 59. They're really open to that type of character.
Yeah, they were like, we need somebody to be
they're like, we got 2 scripts here. If you find someone that looks 35, we got a script for that. If you find someone that looks like they're about to retire, we got a script for that.
Yep. Pick them, anyone in the middle. We'll take it. We just need to get this guy cast. So yeah, Rick Jones could be in the movie. This is another animated project coming from Marvel, Mike, not Sony. The Marvel Heroes Secret Warriors. Have you seen this yet?
I saw a little bit of this.
So this is an animated film coming from Marvel and like a bunch of new projects. There are apparently 6 4-minute shorts and then a full-length film on the way.
Oh wow!
So I was talking with Nerdstalgia's Bryan, and he talked. He mentioned that it sounds like they're rebranding their Marvel's animation because they haven't done anything in a long time.
I would think that's almost the biggest news to come out of this is that they're doing an animated movie to begin with. Like DC has usually been the powerhouse that's been kind of dominating the superhero animated features. Marvel's just kind of coming in trying to like test the waters, I guess. See if they can kind of come back and fight.
Yeah, they're like, well, we haven't done anything in a while. Maybe they got someone in charge of all this, but this movie is going to feature a lot of characters that we already know. Miss Marvel, Miss America, Squirrel Girl, Quake, Spider-Gwen, Inferno, Patriot, Exile, and Captain Marvel will all join forces against the villainous Hala, and with some help from Tippy Toe and Lockjaw, of course.
Yeah, and I believe Quake is being voiced by
Chloe Bennett.
By Chloe Bennett, and isn't the villain being voiced by
Ming-Na Wen?
Yeah, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
and
this is
Squirrel Girl is by Milana Vantrobe, who is playing Squirrel Girl in New Warriors.
Yeah, so I think when you hear news like that, it also seems like a very concentrated effort to make this more than just kind of like a one-off animated type deal. Because usually they always feel like kind of isolated, like, oh, we're just going to go into like the voice acting community or just like they'll work with people we usually worked with. But someone was smart enough to go, hey, let's see if we can get kind of some people we already have to voice these characters. So I think that's really cool.
Well, this is where the Spider-Gwen news comes into play, Mike, because she's not going by Spider-Gwen in this movie. Her new name will be Ghost Spider. Will be her code name in this movie.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, do I not know enough about Spider-Gwen to know that that's her actual name? Or?
Well, I think it might be an idea because she was being voiced by actress Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron is cast in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 in an unspecified role, Mike.
Ooh.
Now, with Quake playing Quake and Ming-Na Wen playing the villain...
No, it can't be.
Dove Cameron looks a lot like a Spider-Gwen actress.
No,
Google Dove Cameron, and she might play Ghost Spider.
Chris, it's hard for me to imagine that would be happening. Plus, with the current state of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., usually a spider person thrives in tall buildings, and I don't want to spoil the new season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't think those tall buildings exist anymore.
Well, maybe not, but if they're going to bring her in, maybe she's an Inhuman.
Well, maybe.
But I'm just saying, Mike, you're pointing out there a concentrated effort, right?
That is the rampant speculation, Chris, that I love about our show. So I do appreciate you going there.
I'm definitely going there. And you recently have caught up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the premiere at least. You watched it recently, right? The other day.
I haven't watched the third episode yet.
But you watched the first two. And
the first two, yes.
Are you on board for this season?
Dude, man, this season, it actually seems really crazy and kind of fun. And actually, it's the first time I think I've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where it actually kind of felt a little bit like Firefly. I know it's a different Whedon, but I have a feeling they all kind of come from the same Whedon type of background. But yeah, like the first episode was really funny. There was jokes that just kind of made sense because you had these characters in this ridiculous scenario, and they were just kind of commenting to each other, yeah, this is crazy. What is going on here? Yeah, I'm digging it so far.
So you recommend people watch the first episode is what I'm getting to?
Yeah, I think it would be fun.
Okay, I mean the third episode goes even farther, Mike. Like it's not like they're not slowing down this season either, and I'm very excited with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 5. Hopefully we get to see a ghost spider.
Oh my gosh, Chris, if you're right, I don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah, well, if I'm right, I'll feel pretty good about it. These are a lot of female lead characters here, like a lot. And then another one is making a return to Netflix, Jessica Jones season 2. We got a season 2 announcement trailer and a release date, Mike, March 8th. That's a lot sooner than I expected.
Yeah, coming on our heels pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that actually gives us something to do in March. I'm like, Mike, what are we going to watch in March this year? I don't know. So Jessica Jones season 2 trailer, like we talked about, it's a little kind of an underwhelming trailer all around, but it does, just say, hey, she's coming back. Drinking and taking photos, I guess.
Yeah, I guess when it comes down to the character, is there really that much to show? I mean, action-wise, she's basically just kind of punching and throwing people all around. We get the typical breaking down door scenes that we're very familiar with that Jessica Jones likes to do in her first season. So, yeah, it's just kind of like, hey, if you liked her before, here she is again. Here's some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like... I maybe have a feeling some trailers moving forward might have more to reveal, like possible villains, but I don't know, man.
We don't know who the villain is off the top of our heads, but we do have a first official image showing the return of the Purple Man in some form, which I think is still in our head.
Yeah, it has to be. It would undercut all of the drama that happened in the last season to just bring him back.
Yeah. And I mean, look how menacing he looks, man. Like, I forgot how much I love that character. Like, he's a great villain. Look at him. Look at him, Mike.
Look at him.
He's so menacing. Like that's a great image. Like I just love seeing David Tennant be that nasty evil Purple Man. Like that's great. I love it. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for season 2. Regardless, I know my wife will definitely be excited as well.
Chris, I can already feel you crafting the segue into the next section here.
I don't have one, but thank you for trying. Because Mike really, really hates Iron Fist.
Is that the second? Man, I had more hope because I thought it was gonna go like this. I thought it was gonna go. Speaking of shows that are also getting a season 2.
No. I was like I didn't even see that far. I'm like, speaking of women you like to look at Netflix shows, Iron Fist season 2 adds Alice Eve as an actress in an unspecified role. Alice Eve, she was in the newest Star Trek 2. I forget what the name was. It Into Darkness or was that the newest one?
Yeah. No, I think it was Into Darkness.
Beyond was the newest one.
Yeah, Beyond was the newest.
So Into Darkness, Alice Eve, she was the blonde girl. I think they tried to get her naked in one scene or something like that. That's all I remember for. She was the eye candy for that.
Yeah, as far as I know, Alice Eve has been a film actress. I don't know if she's dabbled in I don't know if she's dabbled in TV that much, so I don't know if this is an effort to elevate season 2 of Iron Fist by bringing in bigger talent, or maybe this is just people really want to be on that Marvel payroll any way they can, and whether it's a Netflix show or a movie, they'll take it either way they can get it. So yeah, I'm curious what Alice Eve is going to be in Iron Fist season 2. I really like her as an actress, so I think it's a good addition, but I think Iron Fist is like a steaming pile, so I don't really know how well season 2 is going to go, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I've got hope. I mean, after, getting excited for The Punisher, seeing Jessica Jones look okay, I feel maybe they've listened to some feedback, and Netflix is like, look, we're losing House of Cards. We gotta up our game a little bit here.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think it's okay. But at the end of the day, Netflix may not let Disney take the shows with them to the streaming service that we're very excited for.
Ooh, Chris, now that's a segue. Good job.
So thank you. The Netflix CEO was talking. Was like, they were like, Disney's not truly exclusive. We have the Defenders. So it makes me sound like Disney's gonna have to buy them out, or Netflix isn't gonna budge. But at the end of the day, I don't see me not having both services.
Yeah, also, it seems kind of strange for a series to continue on a Disney streaming service. And I feel like all of these Marvel Netflix shows are all going to live on one place. Whether it stays on Netflix or moves over to Disney, I feel like they'll stay on Netflix just because that's where the audience is. That's where the audience has been cultivated. There's people that are watching these Netflix shows that aren't big, hardcore nerds like we are. And if they just disappeared one day, they're not going to know where they went. They might not even know that Disney has a streaming service. They're like, oh, I don't want to watch all those kid shows. I just want to watch my season 4 of Daredevil. Where is it at? So I think they'll probably all stay on Netflix. But I don't think that's going to stop Disney from creating original Marvel TV show programming just on their streaming service.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Maybe New Warriors could be one of them.
Or like Blade or Moon Knight or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they want to do. So
one thing Disney can do is Disney could just not let Netflix go after some characters that they haven't cultivated yet. Like we've talked about in the past, it'd be awesome to see maybe Blade and Moon Knight. Well, and Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider.
They've debuted him in S.H.I.E.L.D. He's out there. So like they can totally pick that up.
Yeah, so it makes me think that, maybe Netflix is just going to do maybe one kind of triumphant finish with all of these shows. They're like, hey, Disney's not letting us grab any more new characters. We can't really expand anymore, so maybe let's just wrap everything up with an explosive Defender Season 2, and then maybe that's just it for Marvel and Netflix, and just everything else continues over at Disney.
Yeah, I really don't know, but I'm excited for it. Because it might be a place where you can finally watch your Star Wars movies, Mike. Because you were trying to find The Force Awakens this weekend, and we couldn't find. I was like, I don't even know where it's streaming at. Do you know where it's streaming at?
No, I mean,
Stars.
at one point in time, I thought it was on Netflix because I knew Rogue One was on Netflix. So I was like, oh, maybe Star Wars is. And then I was doing all this mental jumping in my head. I was like, no, they wouldn't have it streaming for free because the other movie's about to come out. So they want people to pay like the $20 for it. So yeah, I mean, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it before I go see the next one on Thursday.
And we found it, and then but apparently the Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the review embargoes are down. The reviews and thoughts came out at like 1 a.m.
Oh my God. Everybody retreat to your holes.
I did read some first reactions out of the red carpet premiere.
What are you doing, Chris? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I'm a glutton for punishment, Mike. I took off work on Thursday to go get in line for this movie because I didn't have reserved seatings, okay? That's how I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for Star Wars. But it is out this week. The review embargo is down. Avoid the internet. Avoid the spoilers. TV spots are out there. Just get away. Just shut down. Focus on what you need to. Go live like the Amish for a couple days. And then...
Yeah, especially if you're in Alabama. You should be going and voting on Tuesday if you're in Alabama.
Yeah.
Don't be on the internet looking for Star Wars spoilers. Go out and vote.
Yeah, exactly. So avoid anything at all costs. I am very excited for this movie, and I'm excited to talk about this movie with you this weekend, Mike. But if you guys have any reviews you want to send us, share with us, please do. Just don't spoil it for us. if you see it before Thursday.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine there's some selection bias there. Don't tell me what the red carpet reactions were. I still don't want to know. But I have a feeling that they're going to be overwhelmingly positive, because if you get invited to a movie premiere and when you leave the theater someone asks you how it was, I think even if you got invited to the premiere of Jupiter Ascending, I think people are still like, oh, wow, that was amazing. Thank you for inviting me to this exclusive premiere.
Yeah, I definitely am not telling you anything. I'm not saying this. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely Star Wars week. It's here.
Yes,
it's
Star
here.
Wars, baby.
This is how we wind down the year and get ready for Christmas, is with Star Wars. I believe TNT might have Star Wars weekends going on right now. Attack of the Clones was on yesterday, and
and I both know I don't have cable, and I'm not waiting around for
it was awful.
The Force Awakens.
It was just on for 5 minutes. I'm like, I gotta turn this off. So yeah, it doesn't hold up very well.
Yeah, good luck on your Star Wars marathons out there, people.
Yeah, Star Wars, woo! Speaking of Star Wars, Rian Johnson has said his trilogy will not focus on the Old Republic, Mike, so you don't have to worry about that.
I wasn't worried about it, so...
I don't think anyone was. I think a little people are more sad, but I mean, if The Last Jedi goes well, and, people like it, I think this is going to be great, and he can focus on whatever. I don't think he's going to direct them all, but at least he's going to start the trilogy and get it going, so...
Yeah, it sounds like he wants to make original content, so... We'll have to see if that ends up being awesome. I think it would. I mean, it's a really vibrant, awesome universe that just hasn't been explored on the big screen outside of the Skywalkers. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is the Marvel approach. You prove yourself by playing in the sandbox once, then they give you the rest of the world. So I'm really excited to see it. Because, I mean, look at Guardians. Guardians, you play in the sandbox, and he got the world. So... really excited to see where Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy takes us and what we can do. Obi Wan Kenobi is getting a film. We've talked about this before. This anthology film is supposed to start production in January of 2019. And putting us on release for a 2020 release, which would make sense given the current time frame of movies.
Yeah, so do we think that this is going to drop after that episode 9 or before? That's the question.
Well,
because if it was before,
Star Wars is 2019, so it'd be 2020.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I've always wondered why that they decided to kind of end this kind of new resurgence of Star Wars movies, or at least I guess phase 1 with Obi Wan Kenobi, because it seems like they would want to kind of end it on a high note, kind of like you do with the Avengers, and do it with episode 9. But I guess if they're segueing into new Star Wars movies, I guess, yeah, go ahead and end it on Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I consider it an ending. I just consider it like, hey, this is our off year. Like, every other year is probably a main franchise story, and this is just one of the off years. So I expect Star Wars to do every year after this. So, I mean, it's hopefully... Ewan McGregor is reportedly wanting to return. Of course he does. I'd love to have him and tell the story on Tatooine in between episodes 3 and 4. If you're going to revisit a time frame between 3 and 4, that one has not been revisited. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, let's bring him back.
Because you can't go after, because he's a ghost. And if you go before, well, that's the prequels. So this is a great area.
It would be really crazy if they went the ghost route and the whole movie is just whatever ghost plane that he lives on. It's just him, mundane task, going to the grocery store and getting ghost groceries. Getting a ghost watermelon,
ghost blue milk from Tatooine. Got a craving for that ghost blue milk.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with that. But if you're not a Star Wars person, you can get off the podcast right now. No, I'm kidding. If you're a Star Trek person, we got some news for you too.
Wow, yeah, we do.
Quentin Tarantino has pitched an R-rated film for the Star Trek franchise.
Oh my gosh.
Paramount and J.J. Abrams like it so much, he's also in talks to direct this film. And they've hired Mark Smith, who wrote The Revenant, as the writer of this movie.
This is so bizarre. I think just this goes to show you the power of the culture of Star Trek, because Quentin Tarantino for his entire life has made Quentin Tarantino movies. He's never delved into a franchise. He's always done his movies his way, his own
universe.
Original stories. Yeah, the Tarantino universe. So for him to break with all of that tradition and to just want to do a franchise movie that would be like a blockbuster is very bizarre, but I think it just goes to show you that he loves Star Trek. He's probably such a big Trekkie, and he's probably been sitting on this idea for so long. He's probably just like, screw it, I'm getting old. I want to make the movies I want to make. I don't care whether it's in a franchise or not. I hope it stays rated R. I do not want to see a PG-13 Quentin Tarantino movie ever, so please let him make it rated R. I would imagine this would be maybe not with the current cast. I don't think Chris Pine would be in his movie, it sounds like. It sounds like he's kind of going to go the Rian Johnson route and maybe do his own kind of Star Trek-y stuff.
I'd be okay with that.
Crazy.
Star Trek doing anthology films outside of their main ones. Yeah. That might help them as well. I don't know. Has any other Star Trek movie ever been rated R?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a big Trekkie, but it's hard for me to imagine a rated R Star Trek movie.
I'm trying to find it and see if I can get anywhere out here. It doesn't have I just assume they're all PG-13.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption, Chris.
So a rated R movie is. I mean, why would it need to be rated R?
Because it's Tarantino and he wants to swear and put blood everywhere, and I'm okay with that.
Right, no, I'm totally okay with that. But, would that feel so out of the Star Trek vein? I just don't want it to, even though we're not Trekkies, I don't want them to be yes, pick Tarantino because he's awesome, and then just get a movie that's everyone's like, what the hell was that? So, I don't know. I don't know, but...
It's a crazy change of pace.
It's crazy enough, it just might work. This might be that shot in the ass Star Trek needs to get going.
It's almost like they're not holding anything back.
Whoa, they might not be. So, but that's okay because we got another movie you're gonna love here coming up, Mike.
Oh, Chris, what are you doing?
Venom. You love Venom. We got our first official look at the logo and from the Venom movie that they're using. This is at CCXP, which is some sort of it's like a marketing expo in Brazil going on right now. Mm-hmm. This was officially revealed to be the Venom logo, and if it does give us anything, Mike, it's that the big, sharp teeth, big-eyed, bulky Venom is the Venom we'll probably see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the classic Venom look that we still need to have properly portrayed on the big screen. I mean, Chris, I'm going through a crisis over here with Sony. What am I supposed to do? I thought that this animated Spider-Man movie was going to be trash. The trailer looked amazing. Obviously, the animation studio is different from the feature studio. So what am I supposed to think about Venom now? I think I just need a trailer, man. I need some sort of teaser. I want to see some sort of visualization of what Venom is going to look like, and then maybe I can get a little excited. I mean, obviously, it's Tom Hardy. That's good. It's just we just still don't know if we need the movie. That's the problem.
Yeah, and does it fit into the MCU now? Because Spider-Man's over there. We don't know. I agree, but at the same time, they're trying really hard. This might be one of the last movies they get to make, Mike. They can't hold anything back now. Gotcha. Oh, man. Gotcha. You didn't see that coming, did you?
We're so awesome.
Yeah, we're awesome. Jurassic World is getting a sequel, The Fallen Kingdom, coming out in June. My wife did not know this until this trailer came out. And I was like, yeah, it's coming out. So we get our first look at this official trailer. It appears Isla Nublar is going to shit. It's blowing up. Some might say that in this movie, life finds a way.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're going to telegraph that line so perfectly, they totally forgot the part. Yeah. I have some questions about this trailer. I have some theories. But first of all, I want to state that I'm not super invested in the Jurassic world, if you will. The Jurassic World movie was fun. I just kind of mentally separated it from the older movies.
Have you
Jurassic Park?
it?
Not in a while.
Yeah.
It was on HBO Now for a little bit, and I wanted to watch it, but I didn't get around to it. So just a quick summary. Jurassic Park 1 is a classic cinema masterpiece that still holds up as amazing. Jurassic Park 2 holds a special place in my heart because I was a kid when it came out, and I still liked it. I'm sure people have a lot of problems with the second movie, but it doesn't really matter to me because it's still kind of dinosaur movie nostalgia to me. Jurassic Park 3 is garbage with talking velociraptors, but there's some fun... There's some fun parts into it, but it's still not a great movie. So when you come around the Jurassic World, you can just kind of have fun, just turn your brain off. Lots of crazy stuff happening. Chris Pratt's in it. That's a fun time. So you get Chris Pratt again.
The park is open for once.
Yeah. They say all of the stuff happening in this trailer is kind of just the first beat of the movie, which kind of makes sense. I don't think for a sequel you should go back to the exact same park you were at for the whole movie. So, I mean, you visibly see the park exploding, so it makes me think, that this is not going to be where they are with the whole movie.
So, yeah, I agree. But at the same time, like, this is it. Like, if they blow up the island, Mike, they can't go back to the island. Like, they would have to start over fresh to go back to this island. So it's kind of bold to blow it up. But, I mean, you talk about this on Screen Junkies. Dan Merle does not like Jurassic World.
Yes.
And I've got to tell you, this trailer did not interest me at all in the second movie yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even though this could end up being a fun movie like the first one was, this isn't a very exciting trailer. You know, it's just like there's just like it feels like a very shoehorned in shot of like, oh, let's get the T-Rex in there to save them. It's just like we see this like every movie. This T-Rex is always showing up and being a hero.
You can't see that T-Rex, like that fucker is like 2 stories tall. You can't see him coming out of left field to bite that one's neck. You're like, are you that blind? I don't know. Like I think I texted you that. Like, why do you not see the T-Rex that stomps so loud it shakes waddles like water around you come out? I don't know. It just, that's overplayed. Like that is overplayed.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And I've heard some people saying, well, why would you build a park in an active volcano? I have a theory that the volcano is not active and maybe some third party comes in to destroy the island and maybe they put charges inside of the volcano to restart it. I don't know if that's actually science and you can do that, but it's believable and kind of like an action movie universe. So I could maybe see somebody like triggering the volcano and that's why they don't have any sort of contingency plans for it. Because I feel like if you're putting a bunch of vicious dinosaurs on an island with a volcano, you have contingency plans, so that would make sense why they wouldn't.
I bet it's an insurance scam.
Someone
has
scam.
Bought insurance on this park and dinosaurs, and when it blows up, they have volcano insurance.
I like to imagine at the beginning of the movie, there's just some man with the hat tilted down low so you can't see his face, just walking into his local like State Farm office, opening like an insurance policy on a multi-billion-dollar park, and the guy's just like, okay, yeah, we can get this started now.
One of my favorite,
we're gonna do your first down payment.
One of my favorite Family Guys is when the guy comes to Peter's store selling volcano insurance.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "Don't you think we're overdue for one?" So that's. I don't know. I'm gonna be asking that question when this movie comes out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like
the blood-sucking lawyer is the one who set up the volcano insurance.
Yeah, but you know, I don't have a really strong opinions on the Jurassic World franchise, but it's just kind of a poor trailer. I mean, there's some cool stuff happening in it, but it just kind of seems like, all right.
We've seen it.
I'm gonna need to see the next trailer, please.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk a little bit closer then. This might be a movie I don't see in theaters the first weekend. Like, I might have to step back.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Let's shift gears. We're so positive right now. Let's talk about some negative things going on. DC, Warner Brothers. There's some stuff going on. John Berg, who's in charge of the Warner Brothers DC movies, is apparently stepping down from being in charge of the DC Extended Universe.
Oh, surprise, surprise. I wonder why that happened.
Because of how bad Justice League is doing. It's not doing horrible, but like expectations for your big team-up movie are $1 billion. And I think Thor is actually doing better than it tracking-wise. So Jeff Johns is probably going to be stepping away as well to just focus on the DC Entertainment's creative side. Which is sad because I think he has the best vision of everybody there because he knows the characters. And a new person will be appointed to lead these films probably in January.
We'll have to see who that's going to be.
No clue. I have no idea who they pick at this point. But also, the future of Zack Snyder directing films is in doubt because of everything just kind of going on. Like, there's a lot of backlash, a lot of waves. He will stay on as executive producer for Wonder Woman 2 and Aquaman, but as far as that goes, I think that'll be the last DC bit Zack Snyder is related to. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's probably going through lots of crazy things in his life right now, personally and professionally. Zack Snyder seems like a type of guy who should take the move of take a step back, maybe approach like an independent, smaller production house, just take the reins back in and just kind of make a small movie that really means something to him. You know, don't tackle some sort of giant franchise or something with just like insane visuals. Like kind of like go back to the roots of filmmaking. And I would like to see what Zack Snyder could do there. And I think he'd enjoy himself there too. And I mean, he's still Zack Snyder, even though he's kind of made some mediocre, big box office movies. I'm sure any studio would just greenlight anything he would want to do that has a reasonable budget. Like, he still can like write any check that he wants. So I'd like to see what Zack Snyder can do moving forward, because I liked Watchmen. I liked 300. He can do cool things sometimes.
Well, I think don't give him a big budget. Make him work in a box. Make him work out a lot of his frustrations and personal problems in a film. Like, maybe it might be therapeutic for him to find something like, hey, here's a grounded film that's not superheroes or comic book based. That's not visual heavy. Just tell a story. And
maybe something more personal to himself.
Yeah, and then maybe that's what he needs to do. I don't know.
Yeah, the resurgence of Snyder 2020. Let's bring him back.
Yeah, let's bring him back. Let's get him a reboot. Let's push a reboot button on him.
Yeah,
and maybe we can recast Zack Snyder as somebody else. Oh wait, that's not Zack Snyder. It's Batman. Ben Affleck might be out again. He's out again.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Oh
Batman?
my gosh, right now the reports are very heavily that Ben Affleck will play Batman one more time in Flashpoint, and then he's done. He's out this time, guys. Maybe next week he's back, but now he's out.
I like how that's the compromise Ben Affleck has. Like, I have a feeling he's sitting at a table across from a bunch of executives who are basically doing everything they can, begging him to stay within their franchise, and he's just like, all right, this is the best I can do. I'll show up in your Flash movie, then I'm done.
Yeah, use this Flash movie to recast me. That's all I want. I also like to imagine that Mike's imagination is just a bunch of boardrooms of meetings going on. Like, it's just one big building, and Mike can go to any room, and it's a meeting going on.
That's right. I just want to be a fly on the wall, man.
But the director of the Batman movie, I forget who it is already, apparently wants to recast Batman with fresh talent. Maybe not young talent, but fresh talent.
Isn't it Matt Reeves?
Matt Reeves, there we go.
Who it is? Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's at the forefront. Apparently, John Hamm is like running a campaign to be Batman.
Yeah, I heard that.
So, that's Ben Affleck is out as of this week. One more and he's done. So we'll see what next week holds for us. 2018, the resurgence of Batman or Ben Affleck.
It's really hard to speculate about Batman when you don't even know where the DCEU is going to begin with. Like, I think they should do Batman Year One. Let's just go back to the beginning of Batman, kind of how Nolan did it, recast someone a little bit younger, and just tell the origin of Batman, I guess, all over again.
I don't like hearing about Batman, how he faced an army of, like, the penguins. Like, I want to see the penguins in this universe. Like, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. So, show us some of the stuff he did. Don't just tell us. That's boring. I'm not down with it. I'll tell you what I am down with, though. Aquaman looking ripped.
Oh, man. This is a handsome dude.
Like, you're going to have to get a mop and bucket for all the ladies looking at this photo right now.
And we're not even just saying that to be funny. No. It's just true. When I was in the Justice League screening, when he takes his shirt off, you audibly hear the women in the theater. When Jason Momoa is shirtless, everybody, the earth stands still. He is a one handsome man.
I know these aren't his real tattoos, but they make him look real. Like, I could imagine. I'm like, does he really have these tattoos on? Like, is this him? No. Also, that is not a Green Lantern ring on his fingers. Those are just, I guess, Atlantean jewelry he's wearing.
He's wearing chunky jewelry.
But it also looks like he has single-handedly taken out some guy behind him there in like a military suit. I think this is in a submarine, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks kind of like submarine or like aircraft carrier. Definitely confined hallway.
Yeah, very dark, very much Aquaman coming to get you, bro. Like, you're done for. When you see that, like, you're going to swoon or he's going to knock you out, one of the two.
Damn, look at those pecs. He could just crush a concrete brick on there.
Yeah, he swims laps. He's a swimmer. That's how he gets that look. You want to look like that, just go swimming. So, Aquaman. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy, because you will. Shazam movies casting more people right along. The actor Dylan Grazer from the It movie is apparently Freddie Freeman. In the comic books, Freddie Freeman is known as the new Shazam. He was like given the powers of like by a magician as well to kind of be. I don't know who he is. I looked it up. That was the big news at the start of the week. So there's another kid who was in the It movie who will be in Shazam. So
Yeah, something tells me we're not going to be getting like double Shazams in the first Shazam movie.
Yeah.
This seems just kind of like a wink and a nod, more of casting.
Yeah, and I think he's like the friend of Billy Batson as well because they're the same age. Like,
yeah, he needs a buddy to relate to. He needs his own little man in the chair.
yeah, needs a man in the chair. We need a man on the street. That's what we need. I think that's Quentin, isn't it? Quentin's our man on the street.
Man in the street, man in the line.
That's right. Another thing that we're going to talk about here that you're going to be disappointed in is the Krypton teaser trailer.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, don't even waste your time, people. Don't click on this. There's nothing going on in this trailer. It's just kind of like, I don't even remember. It's just all vaporware. I watched it and then I forgot it.
The actors look so generic and bland. It's very forgettable. I think it's due to the actors just looking so generic. I wish they looked a little more unique, I guess.
Yeah. If I was tasked with putting a quote, a byline on the front of the poster for Krypton, it would be the show nobody asked for.
Yeah.
Quote, Superhero Slate.
Yeah, because the DC movies aren't bad enough. Krypton. So they got that going for them. That's cool. A surprising announcement as well. Detective Pikachu has cast Ryan Reynolds, seriously, to voice Pikachu.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what's going on here. Pikachu, if anybody knows, doesn't speak English. No Pokemon really does, except for I think Meowth and Slowpoke. I think maybe they've elaborated on some. Yeah, I think maybe they've elaborated on some more legendary Pokemon that might speak English. Or I guess Japanese, whatever country you're watching it in.
Anyone with psychic abilities, really. I mean,
yeah, it seems like this Detective Pikachu movie is just going to be very out there, very funny, possibly very self-referential. I don't think they're trying to create some sort of really rigid mythos of Pokemon on the live screen. So this seems like it's going to be very strange. I do not know what to expect.
I kind of want to see like a demo reel. Like, show us what you're pitching. People like. Sell us, because if we say Ryan Reynolds is voicing Pikachu and Detective Pikachu, I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you drunk? That doesn't sound like anything that's happening right now. So give us a demo reel. Give us something to show us what you're doing.
We might have to, in a couple of years, we might have to retitle this podcast the video game slate, because Detective Pikachu movie, we're getting the Mario Brothers movie. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Zelda movie sooner or later on the ends of those. Nintendo is really like just opening up and letting it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, can't hold anything back now. Got nothing on that one.
All right, I think we got two more trailers to talk about. We do.
It's been we got a lot of notes today. But two trailers here, very similar vein. You shared one with me. I shared one with you. First up is Battle Angel Alita. I believe this was an anime. You said.
Yeah, well, I know it as an anime, but just like everything out there in the Japanese culture, it starts out as a manga first, and then it got turned into an anime. I don't know if it became a series, but I just vaguely remember watching the animated movie for this way back in the day when I was dabbling in anime, back when Toonami was a big deal. I didn't really know what I was watching. I probably just picked it up off a shelf at Best Buy and just watched it. But it's crazy. The trailer, this is the whole thing that we're talking about. Is the visuals of the character are all CG rendered. So you have live action actors, and then you have like a CG lead, Alita, the Battle Angel, and they took this creative decision to give her bigger eyes. So I don't know if this is supposed to be paying homage to anime characters having very large eyes, or if they just wanted the character to stand out a little bit more, because technically she's a robot and not a real person, and theoretically if you were building a robot, they could look however you wanted them to look. But the whole reason anybody's even talking about this trailer is because of that creative decision, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision, because I think, unfortunately, if this character just looked like a normal person, this would be almost a very forgettable trailer, in the sense of just like, oh, it's a science fiction robot movie. You know, the only reason I think people are also talking about it is because Cameron and Robert Rodriguez are involved, which make it more interesting. But this feels like it could be another Ghost in the Shell if it doesn't go right. Yeah,
so I mean, kind of looking at it here, I haven't heard any of the anime. I guess it's not anime. It's just a manga, and it had like a short movie, I guess, in 1993. I haven't heard as much, like, hey, you didn't cast this properly feedback in this, because that character is like fully CGI, I believe. Like, maybe based on a human, but the eyes definitely are weird, and her arms and stuff like that. I don't know. It's interesting. It's weird to see Ed Skrein as a robot after seeing him in Deadpool. I said he looked like Jack from Tekken. But I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I feel it leans into that. Oh, this robot someone reprogrammed wants to be good, but has to fight all the bad robots trope. But
yeah, the plot does seem very rudimentary when it comes to what do you do with a robot in a movie. Well, you can do one of these three things, and this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. So. I don't know. It's just I'm very undecided on this movie. It looks interesting.
Yeah, well, I think it's safe to say we're fans of James Cameron, and at least I know I'm a fan of Robert Rodriguez. So if you're putting them together, I at least got to give the movie a shot.
I haven't liked a Cameron movie in like 25 years, and his Avatar future isn't holding me any hopes. But well, it's definitely going to be full of action. So we'll follow it. We'll follow it. How about that? We'll keep you posted. I was more intrigued in this new Ready Player One trailer that just dropped right before we started recording. Because if you want an 80s reference or a 90s reference, this movie has every one of them. Like it felt like.
Intellectual property, the movie, you're getting everything you could ever want. We saw Gundams.
Gundams.
I think that's new. Iron Giant was in the previous trailer. I think he gets a little bit more room to kind of strut his stuff in this trailer. But yeah, I saw Gundams. That made me happy.
The Back to the Future car, the Akira bike from the anime. There's a couple other things here I was trying to... Tracer from the game Overwatch, which is
I saw that. She stood out. So it makes me wonder if maybe characters are getting added to this movie after the fact. Like maybe the first trailer dropped and everyone's like, we got to get our video game characters in this movie now. Call them up right away. Get Steven Spielberg on the horn. I want Tracer in this movie. Like, all right, we'll send you over the 3D model and you can just plug her in.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like half real life, half CG, but it also looks like the real world is trying to attack this guy. So, which I thought it was all going to be in game kind of thing. If I was to say, it looks like Neil Blomkamp's The Matrix. If I was to describe it, because
that's a good way to put it, man. Yeah,
it's like everyone's living on top of each other in poverty in the future. But you get to go into this world where you can defy all rules, or this guy is defying all rules. So,
yeah, this looks like a movie that actually might be kind of fun to see in 3D.
Yeah.
Usually those movies don't come along very often for me, but this might be fun to see in 3D.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters, a lot of references. I look forward to this big battle, it looks like, where all these things and properties we know growing up are fighting each other on this big computer field.
At this very moment, I'm sure there's over a dozen videos being produced for YouTube that all of the Easter eggs you missed in the Ready Player One second trailer, because there's like thousands of them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you like Chucky? Because he was there. Chucky was there. I saw him. I don't know. I'm more excited for this one than Battle Angel Alita, but Alita could change my mind later on. Or it could go worse. I don't know. This was also Steven Spielberg, who I think has a more solid track record for movies.
Yeah, you can't turn down the Berg.
Can't really do it. Man. All right, that's our notes, dude. I think we got through it.
That was a week that was this is what happens when like 4 or 5 trailers like drop all on the same week.
They were like, hey, we can't really compete with Avengers Infinity War, so we're just gonna hold all our news for a week.
Yeah, this is where the podcast turns from more of entertainment into like a service, which is what we kind of envisioned the podcast being for a while. Was there's so much news out there. If you even attempt to go out there to try to catch up, it's going to be a hassle. Yeah. So that's why you subscribe to our podcast, so you don't miss a beat.
And you got to get it out before Star Wars news hits, because those Star Wars reviews are going to bombard everybody. So
yeah, that's right.
So there it is. I think next week will be a little nicer. We'll have our regular news show and our Star Wars review episode, and hopefully Mike will come in with his battle cry ready to take on the world.
I'm getting prepared. So make
That's why
sure
he lost his voice
to the podcast.
because he's been practicing.
Yeah, I've been practicing. Yeah, I'm unemployed. I didn't go to any office Christmas party.
No. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But Chris, if people want to follow you, man, where can they find you if they want to keep up with you?
It's on me now. I'm not used to going first. If they want to find me, you can follow me on Twitter. Valdan, Valdan. You can head over to Comic UI. I did a big Comic UI video this week, and I didn't even get to talk about it until just now. Counting down how to watch the Marvel movies before not Age of Ultron, Infinity War. Because a lot of people, I saw a lot of really bad posts saying like, oh, if you start January, the first week of January, you'll be caught up. You can't. There are too many movies and not enough weeks. And so I did a little clip show showing all these movies in a row. When to start, December 29th. We're going to be watching them every weekend with Comic UI, so you can live tweet with us if you want to. You'll be caught up just in time for Infinity War. Really excited for that.
You're a public service, my friend.
If someone's wrong on the internet, I'm going to stay up all night proving them wrong. You can head over to YouTube, search the DNN, and find the videos I do there on the DNN. Breaking the Seal, Table of Fun, Tuesday Shipments with Mitch, and I probably forgot something, but that's it. Mike, where can people find you at?
Well, they can find me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my webcomic at pickledcomics.com.
Awesome. That's great. And if people are listening to the show for the first time, Mike, where can they find more of us at?
Well, as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find all the avenues we host the show and to get our awesome show notes. So we talked about a lot of trailers today. If you don't want to worry about trying to dig those up and go out on the internet and find those, you can get those right in our show notes there. And you can also find us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher. You can get us right in your email inbox every week, and you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can get some merch for Superhero Slate at superheroslate.com/store. There's like mugs and cups and shirts and hoodies and tote bags and stickers, anything that that your heart desires. You can get the Superhero Slate logo on that. And if you're a fan of the show, please consider leaving us a review. Really appreciate that. That's the best gift you could ever give us for the holidays is a review, and really love that. If you want to be a super fan of the show, like you're talking about at the top of the show, really easy. All you got to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week. And that's going to be twice next week, talking about The Last Jedi and our normal news episode. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss that, because that Star Wars review might be coming a little earlier than usual.
What?
So stay tuned. Yeah.
What? Are you doing this without me? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But yeah, so that's it. Star Wars. Email us your reviews if you watch it Thursday, however you want to. Well, I want to know what you guys think, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. There's the XL episode of Superhero Slate, episode 150, out the door.
That's right. It is the last episode of the day, Mike. We can't hold anything back now. Let's get out of here.
Okay. All right. I'm stopping this after that. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
Blue is stronger, but red is faster. So he can switch between them depending on how he needs them.
Oh my gosh, I got so much to catch up on.